Hey, it's Scotty. I was picking up some hamster food the other day, and the lady at the checkout said, "Oh, you're just the person that I want to see." She said that somebody came in, and it's kind of a sad story, but hopefully, that's what we do in rescue is we turn sad stories into happy endings. So bear with me. But she said that someone came in and they needed some help with some baby rats, baby mice. They weren't sure. And unfortunately, there was a mama rat, turned out to be, that had crawled into their air conditioning unit. So they put a trap out. Now, this is a whole different story why you should never put lethal traps outside. Instead, you should secure your house. That's important. If you have wild animals getting into where they shouldn't, then that's up to you to secure those areas rather than just put a random trap outside where any animal can just walk into it. What happened was she killed a mama rat, and there were some babies left over. Now, of course, then she did the right thing, which was to scoop those babies up and try to feed them and keep them warm. But not being equipped, not having any experience, she thought she would reach out to the pet shop and see if they knew anybody that could help. The pet shop gave me the woman's number, and I picked up the babies, and that's when the hard work began. I had to set up a space where they could be warm and safe, and simultaneously I was reaching out to different wildlife rehabilitators in order to find a place where they could go, where they would get the proper care, much more and much better than what I knew how to do. And that's when I found Crystal from the Wrinkle Bean Rattery, who I'll put the information about Wrinkle Bean Rattery and all of her social media in the description below. But she talked me through all the steps and actually helped me figure out what they were.
Hello, beans. These are the desert woodrat native to the Mojave Desert, and they're not really rats like the name would suggest. They're closer to deer mice, and they have a very interesting diet where they eat poisonous creosote to disinfect their food. They have these little teeth that they use to clamp on to their mums, but when they're orphaned, they don't have that, so I use these little water paintbrushes and let them suck the milk off the bristles, drop by little drop. And I have learned over the course of time to let them keep these as little pacifiers while they sleep. Otherwise, they clamp onto each other, and it's not very pleasant when that happens because they can really injure each other.
These little babies were so tiny and so vulnerable, and they really didn't even know what was going on. And I just felt it was my responsibility to make sure that they'd be okay. I put them in like hamster bedding. Crystal said I needed to keep them at 103 degrees Fahrenheit, and that I should feed them Pedialyte electrolyte mix warmed up for tonight, and then in the morning I would give them a mixture of formula and water. She told me to get puppy replacement formula, and then over the next several feedings to mix a different percentage of water until after a few feedings we were going with the 100% formula. And I must say, I started to get really attached. She told me I had to feed them every 3 hours. And so that meant getting up in the middle of the night, every couple hours to feed them and to check and make sure that the temperature was okay. And actually something that scary that happened was, as Crystal said, that they start to latch on to things. Well, they started chewing on the hamster bedding, and they were chewing on it, and it was in their mouth, getting stuck in their mouth. So I had to pull it out, and that's when I just put them on a towel and put the electric blanket underneath there. And it was really nerve-wracking to try to make sure that the temperature was good for them. In the morning, it was time to start them on their formula. And I didn't have any of those brushes, but the lady who I got the babies from, she was a nurse and had these little tiny catheters. So I was able to use that to squirt the formula into their mouth. And it did work. After I first agreed to take on these babies, I realized that I really didn't even have the time to take care of these babies. And then I started worrying about, could they possibly have diseases that could spread to my piggies? And I was talking myself out of it and trying to figure out how I could just get rid of them. But after just a little while of feeding them, I started thinking about, is it right to like build them a cage and just keep them forever? And I know that it isn't what's best for them, and so I definitely am gonna let them go when they're strong enough. But I did get really attached to them. And it seemed like they started getting used to taking the milk from the syringe. It wasn't easy at first, and I was really worried about making them choke or giving them too much. And this is not something I'm experienced with at all. But when you're doing it every couple hours, you start to get pretty good at it. And man, I was really starting to love these little guys. They are so tiny, they're so cute, and they're so vulnerable. They like have no idea what's even going on. It's still going to be a couple more days or even more than a week until their eyes open. And they're just so delicate. It was really crazy. But then this one started going crazy for the milk. Like, got up and started like, going after that catheter tube. And I started to feel a little bit more comfortable. But more and more I was just getting really attached to them. But I'm glad I was able to capture these moments and be able to share it with you guys. No, that's it. Oh, look at that little paw. Onyx. Shh. I was in a little over my head and not completely equipped to take care of these babies and to raise them until they'd be old enough and strong enough to be re-released into the wild. And so thankfully Crystal said that she could do that. And so on my way to the guinea pig rescue to volunteer, I was able to take them to Crystal's house. And this is where something not related to these mice, but this is this is what happened when I got to Crystal's. I hope you guys have as much fun watching this as I did experiencing it. What does that mean? Who knew I spoke raccoon? Hi, come here, come up. Oh my gosh, this is making my life.
If you jiggle his back, he'll purr.
You will. This is the best thing ever. Oh, uh-oh. He's giving me kisses. Hi. Oh my goodness. Oh, you got your tongue in my mouth. I guess that's okay. Oh my goodness. What have you been eating? What is he?
He just pooped.
Oh, he did.
Thank you for pooping him for me.
You're welcome. Yeah.
It's nice and cool.
What's his name?
Rascal.
What?
Rascal.
Rascal. Say hi, Rascal. Oh my gosh. Crystal was able to give the baby Woodrats what they needed, and they continued to thrive and improve. She sent me this video, and boy, I really am attached to them, and it is going to be really fun to watch them grow, and then I'm excited to be able to release them into the wild. Look how squirmy they are. I don't know if they're playing or what they're doing. They're just little bundles of energy. But it is really heartwarming to see them so active. I really can't thank Crystal enough. And what's exciting is that she's just starting her YouTube channel where she can share all of her knowledge and experience and all the cute moments with the animals she takes care of. So remember, it's Wrinklebean, and I will of course put a link in the description to all of her social media. So I really hope you guys will support her and all the important and cute work she does. So how about that? Crystal is an amazing person. Her channel is called Wrinklebean because she got into animals through the love of rats, and through that she raised baby squirrels that have been orphaned. She's raised the raccoon that you saw I got to meet, and a number of other animals. And spoiler alert, there may be a baby skunk coming. So I thought that she did such a great job stepping up to take the baby rats that I sent her a donation on PayPal, and with that money she told me that she got some new incubators, and those incubators are going to be full in no time with new babies, possibly even a baby skunk. So if I get an opportunity to meet a baby skunk, I will bring you guys along with me. And if you haven't hit that notification bell, do that so you don't miss that video when it comes out. Okay, baby. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope maybe it gave you an appreciation for those baby rats, and when it's time for them to be released, I will bring you along on that adventure as well. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. That will tell YouTube to show it to a wider audience, and then we can raise awareness and compassion for all the animals, whether they're wild or whether they are in an animal shelter. All animals deserve safety and protection, and I hope you agree with that too. So until next time, thank you guys so much for watching.